Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to GH Sunday Shift. If you are listening on or watching us on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe. If you are listening on any audio platforms, make sure that I guess you I don't know, subscribe, rate, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
How was your week?
So I had to spend the weekend entertaining my friend who is Scorpio, and it was
Mm-hmm.
her birthday today.
Ooh,
So she's a mom of three kids, and she's like any chance she can come over to my place and just chill out and not have to be a mom of three kids, she's happy.
I can imagine.
So I tend to pamper her. I like cook her meals and let her watch whatever she wants to watch on television because she doesn't get a chance to do that with her kids. And just let her sleep on my couch. And
You're such a good friend.
and so yeah. And I got her favorite champagne. I bought her, I have this kind of dress, lounge dress that I wear. I call it a muumuu, like an old lady dress. But it's
Hmm.
not. It's like sometimes women wear these dresses out and about, but I wear it because it's like kind of loose caftan, flowy type thing.
Hmm.
So I bought her one and I bought her a crown. And so she could
Oh,
just lounge in my house and do nothing.
that
And
is so nice.
yeah, so she just left like an hour ago. So yeah.
Shout out to her. Happy birthday. That's
Happy
amazing.
birthday. Yeah, happy
Shout out to
birthday,
you for
Kim
being a good
Latique.
friend.
Yes.
Um, I
But
had,
I just want to make one note.
oh, of course.
Scorpios are a trip. That is it.
Yes. You can always make that note because it is 100% correct.
They are they are a lot. Okay,
I
there
do
you
love me a Scorpio. I do. And they are a lot. This
Yes,
is
they
true.
are a lot.
Well, I had a brand new Scorpio in the world. My brand new baby nephew was born.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Gabriel Tracy. And I did not know they were going to give him the middle name Tracy. So I was obviously touched.
Oh.
And wait, is that me? There's like a little clicking.
Oh no, it's my chair.
Oh, these mics.
Pick
This
up
is what happens when you get a
everything.
mic.
Right. Pick up
Y'all, we used to be
everything.
out here just like with our computer mics, and now you got the
Mhm.
real mics and it picks up everything. I had to turn my air purifier off.
Oh wow.
Um, but anyway, so yeah, that happened. And then this week, it's so interesting when something sparks something for you and then you kind of go back. So I was listening to the Terrell show. I don't know if you ever watch Terrell? He's a
Terrell.
YouTuber. He has like a blue wall behind him. He brings people on and they do like song association and they sing and they also do like some interviews.
Oh, that sounds
Um,
like fun.
yeah, so he's a good time. He's a very
Mhm.
positive time, and I love people who have that kind of energy. And so this was like season 6. So he used to do a lot of like almost like more up and coming acts or like R&B favorites.
Mhm.
But his season finale, he did three members of Destiny's Child. So he did like Latavia and Latavia, um, and or Latoya and Latavia. Duh, what am I saying? And then Kelly. And he had Michelle earlier this week, or earlier this season, which was really
Mhm.
cool. So I had to remember how much I loved Latoya Luckett. And I shot like I have playlists that I've made on Spotify, and I was like, oh yeah, Latoya's actually never gone out of rotation for me. Like, I'm Hive down, love
Mhm.
Beyonce, and I really love all the children of Destiny. um
I wonder who's Destiny out there. All the children
inc-
of Destiny.
including Solange. And so I highly recommend if folks, yeah, if you're already on YouTube, hop on
Mhm.
over to Terrell after you listen to us after though. Um, and listen to them because they have been through a lot. Um, but Latoya was such a good time. And she has a catalog that I have always loved. I loved her solo stuff. Um, and it was just such a reminder of giving people their flowers, and telling them how special they are. And I
Mhm.
love that he affirmed and like poured into them. And I've been listening to Destiny's Child ever since. I've been listening to Beyonce. I've been listening to like all the Destiny's Child albums. I've been listening to their solo stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, these ladies are gifted and they have given us so much."
All right. Well, what's the name of the podcast again?
It's the Terrell Show.
The
Um,
Terrell Show. Okay.
hmm
I'm
And
gonna
so
write
you'll
that
see when
down.
you pull them up, like it's a blue wall behind him, and you're gonna go down a rabbit hole when you look because he has like singers who be on. So this season, because he's like kind of blown up, he's gotten more like famous people on, but he's
Hmm.
always had like really amazing singers who come on there and sang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of discovery, it's not a podcast, but I ran across a Instagram account.
Hmm.
This guy has I guess a toy named Cheetah, and the cheetah's named Ao Cheetah, and he sings and raps recipes. And he has a recipe for pumpkin muffins. And it cracked me up. It's hilarious. The cheetah is like, I guess, the voice of a cool black dude, and the guy is a white dude. He's like, "Hey, yo, cheetah, I got this, and I need to make this." And he's like, "Cool, you can do that by rap, 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 rap." It's hella funny. And I was just like, so I
Okay.
went down a rabbit hole. So all you have to do is Google AYO cheetah, and
I'm
it's like
writing it
this,
down.
and it's this cheetah muppet that raps recipes and other things.
This is my kind of carrying on, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so it's hella funny.
I'm
Uh,
into it. Well, are you ready to talk about GH this
yeah.
week?
So he's gonna make commercials for other things.
And
And
and also look at this and listen to that and do this and
you
show
should do
this.
this. Yes.
Um, this week was actually a week. I was swept a little bit, but let's get into it.
Okay.
Um,
And
Charlotte recovered from being shot with Valentine, Laura, and Nina by her side.
hmm
Charlotte tells Laura about the letter from Victor and says that Anna shot her on purpose and is coming for her papa.
mm.
Valentine confesses to Anna that Charlotte was the one stalking her, and Anna slaps fire out of him.
That slap heard around the world.
She put her whole body in that slap.
I wrote that in my notes. I was like, she put her whole body under that one. That was crazy.
Knowing Fanola and JPS, he was just like, just slap me for real.
Like for real, for real.
Um,
Yeah.
so Tracy heads back to Amsterdam to meet Bobby and close out Luke's affairs.
Mhm.
Maxie and BLQ reconcile their friendship. Sasha returns as the face of deception with a high profile photo shoot. Tanya's fave Cody is also there with a llama. Was it a llama?
It was a
Okay.
llama.
Which was interesting. Um, BLQ and Lois discuss being little sneaky sneaks against Tracy, and Lois decides she will stay in town for a little bit longer. We love that.
hmm
Eddie Main dives into water to try to finish his siren song. I was like, anyway, he almost drowns, but Olivia saves him, and poof, he's Ned Quartermain once again. Drew is out of jail and visits Scout, Alexis, Curtis, and Michael. Drew and Carly revisit the idea that Ned is the one that turned them in for insider trading. After they agree to drop it, Michael throws out there, "Hey, what if it wasn't Ned?" Esme tells Laura she has feelings for Spencer and needs to move out. Laura tells her that she is family, she loves her, and she will co-sign her lease. Mm. Keeping Laura's long tradition of loving trash people. Anyway, um, Spencer is upset when he hears about it. When he tells Trina she is relieved that Esme is moving out, the finally heard around the world. And after they argue, she seemingly breaks up with him and leaves. We'll talk about it. Uh, Finally, the last thing I have, and I'm sure more happened, and we'll get into it. But the last thing I wrote down was that Blaze and Alexis are going to work on a feature in The Invader about sexual harassment in the music industry after being prompted by Christina. So, oh, also, I forgot, Stella got a man in England. Um, so, how did you feel about the week? What was your favorite part?
Oh, I wouldn't call it favorite parts, but a moment that really stood out to me was that photographer and his like, if you got a drug problem, you need to get off my set. He didn't say it like that, but basically he said it, and I was just like cracking up because everybody was like, oh, everyone looking like, I guess I gotta go then. If you need some substance, you need to go.
Everybody's like, well, I'm on CBD in
So does that
Lucy's
mean
gummies,
anything?
so I gotta get out of here.
Right. I guess I gotta go. But yeah, that photographer cracked me up. I was not expecting him. He was more like a caricature of a photographer, but he was definitely playing that up. I have some other moments that I want to talk about in other segments, but I
Okay,
just thought that moment was funny.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, I was entertained by the week.
Yes.
Um, it was like stuff, it gave you stuff to talk about. So it
Mhm.
wasn't that I necessarily liked or loved everything, but it was like, dang, this happened day. Like it was like
Yeah.
every day. I remember Friday I was busy with work. And so I couldn't watch live. And so
Mhm.
I found myself like, let me hurry up because I gotta watch Friday. And it's been a while since I felt that way about
Mhm.
GH.
Oh yeah.
So I appreciated that. Um just little things I really like that they are playing up little moments. I loved how cute Danny was with
Mhm.
Sam. Um I loved the synchronicity of Jocelyn and Trina turning around to look at Dex like, who asked you?
Not only who asked you, but why are you having the wrong opinion? Like, sir.
Like they looked at him like, I know you fucking lying.
So yeah, that was
But
funny.
it was like the synchronicity of the turn.
Hmm.
Um and so that was funny to me. Yeah, I mean, I liked a whole lot of it, but and like you, I want to talk about it in another segment. So, let's talk about. I mean, there were many performances, but let's talk about performances of the week, the
Well,
performer
I
of the
mean,
week.
performer of the week. Oh my God. I don't think there's any question.
How could there be?
How could there be? There was like everything Finola Hughes did this week was like phenomenal. I
Hmm.
mean, when you said she put her body into that slap, she put her body into the whole performance, particularly
Mm,
when she was crying about to Dante about having shooting a child. That's like the epitome of not of ugly cry. Usually when you're doing an ugly cry, you have like the snot or whatever. Her body was heaving. It was like everything was into it, and it was
hmm.
like that was some physicality that's unexpected. That was real. Like she was going through some serious pain realization. Like I don't know what happened in her life that she was able to pull from that in that way, but it was so real.
It was so good.
It was so Oh my God. It was, yeah. So that one. And then the slap, she threw her whole body into the slap, bounced off the wall, and then pushed him. It was just like she was so unbalanced, but it was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, the physicality of her, performance was amazing. It was top tier. It was everything. And, shout out to Finola.
I barely tweet about the
Mhm.
show, but I had to tweet about
Right.
it because I was like, Finola Hughes is out here 39 years in to Anna Devane,
Hmm.
giving us the blueprint for a performance. I cannot, like, she's getting praise and it's still underrated. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, it's a very
Right.
highly rated. Everybody's like, this is amazing. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I need people to know that this is Finola Hughes. This is the kind of performance. I mean, obviously not us because we're soap watchers, but so often people dismiss
Hmm.
soaps and performances or make fun of it.
Hmm.
You point to me somebody else who's better than her. She could be on any platform. She could be
Oh
on
yeah.
your blockbuster movie. She could be on the stage. She could go toe to toe with some of the people feel like are the greats. She is one of one. I mean, I hate the storyline for a lot of reasons as like a
Hmm.
Vanna fan, as an Anna fan. Like, I'm like, why they doing this to my girl? But when I tell you Finola Hughes is filling up reels for the Emmys,
Hmm.
I don't need to see anybody else's performance. This
Definitely.
is lead
The
actress,
Lee's best actress.
period.
Period. Period.
Mm, killed it.
Yeah. Killed it. This
Even like
year,
just thinking back about it, I get chills. Like you said, the whole thing where her being like, I shot a child. It was just like,
you know, and
whew.
and then Valentine made her shoot a child.
Mm-hmm,
That was crazy. And you know what? I obviously have to give shout outs to JPS because I mean, him being able to hold his own against that
mm-hmm,
was phenomenal. And the guilt that he feels, I mean, he's playing that really well.
mm-hmm.
And shout out to Scarlett,
Oh, yes.
amazing
Mm-hmm.
as a little actress. They had her looking ghoulish in the hospital. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
all of that, all of them are playing a really weird storyline very well.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. So,
There's
yeah.
no duds. Even little Jake
Yeah.
with
Oh
that
yeah.
heavy-handed Jason reference when they had him in that black t-shirt. I said, for real, y'all.
And
um,
yeah, Jeannie Francis when Anna was in the hospital and she's like, "No. She thinks you shot her on purpose. You need to go." I mean, all of it
mhm.
was like powerful.
It's
Yeah.
the best of the best.
The
It
best of
was
the best.
hard to watch other stuff. Not that other people weren't good actors. I think that GH, for me, from watching other soaps, I think GH has like the best of best of
Yeah.
daytime. But it was like really hard to like even care about other stories. I'm like, bring me back. I want to know what Charlotte is doing. I want to know what Anna's doing. I want to know what
Yeah.
Valentine is doing. It is that kind of story. So why it is infuriating and it's really hard to watch Savannah fan, it is like
Like you
you
want to
getting Finola
watch.
Hughes. Yeah.
Yes. And I had to apologize to Laura Wright for real because I usually don't fast forward through her scenes, but I did this week. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, yeah, Drew's back. Great. I was like, fast forward because I wanted to get back to the hospital. I wanted to get back to Anna. I wanted to get back to
Right.
it all. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Drew. You should have had your comeback last week because this week wasn't.
Yeah.
I had to fast forward. Sorry, Laura.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I loved just everybody in that storyline. Finola, I mean
Hmm.
Scarlett, like you said, just being so young. I'm
Hmm.
so glad we got her back.
Yeah.
This is, if even as we talk about daytime Emmys, and we know they've lowered the ages.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh well, Scarlett and Hudson, who plays Jake, this is their category next year. And then
Right.
you got Easton Rocket, like Sweeta,
Oh,
like
yeah.
what else is there? Like we running the table with the young performers.
That's true. That is very true. I can't even think of another young performer that would, compare. I don't
Hmm.
even, but that's the thing. I don't watch days. But
That's like
even on young,
carrying story in
yeah,
this way.
right. Yeah. I mean, you like Young and the Restless has some great actors, but right now none of the youth actors hold a candle to what GH is doing. So,
Hmm.
um, it's GH's category next year in young and lead actress.
That's right. Um, and supporting. Tell
And
me Jeff Colbert will show up every time.
oh, for real. For real. And
Um,
even, Gladys, as funky as she is, that actress will get a, a nomination too.
Sophia,
So
obviously.
oh my God. Okay, if anybody else get that award outside of Sophia, I don't know what to say.
I'm kind of she hasn't even been nominated after all the work she's put
Never.
in.
Right. If G's don't get off, y'all need to put all the tapes of Sophia in there, all the tapes of Anna and Charlotte,
Hmm.
all of them.
Well, aside from our amazing performers, because people have been killing it, what else is working on the
Killing
show?
it. Okay. There's some other things that I said. What is okay? So I kind of felt like the Danny scenes was like shout out to the new actor and him cutting his teeth and getting some juicy lines. And I wrote shout out to Kelly Monaco for mentoring her actor son because I kind of felt like she was helping him in a way. And I was like, that is so cool.
Hmm.
I loved it that he was able to get his scenes in with Kelly Monaco because she's such a generous actress and she's
Hmm.
amazing and to have as a scene partner. So I wrote that out and I wrote to, shout out to GH giving the spotlight and the platform to these young actors,
Hmm.
some of them really stand out and others are just getting in, but I love it that GH is giving them story and giving them time to be on screen and having lines. It's really great of GH to do that.
Yeah, the actor that played Danny had so many lines. Like
I mean, he had a
we,
whole day.
yeah, it was so much
It seemed
exposition
like,
that he gave,
yes.
and a lot of like, you know, that's a lot of memorization and being a
Mm-hmm.
character, and like we haven't really seen him with Kelly and Dom before.
Right.
I thought he did a great job. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
he carried a whole scene. Like the whole scene was them reacting and like asking like a line or something to him
Mm-hmm.
and him
Mm-hmm.
just talking.
Yeah.
I was like,
It
wow.
was that was great. So, and I don't know, I didn't look up his name, but I'm gonna do that next time. Um, and I also loving that Lois is staying in town.
Hmm.
Shout out to GH teasing us about people leaving town that we don't want to leave.
Hmm.
First with Sophia and now with Lois, but I'm glad she's staying. So yes, because she had great scenes with Wally Kurth. Um, and yeah, she's just amazing. Love her.
Yeah,
So, yes, thank you, GH, for keeping her. And thank you, Rena Sofer, for gracing us with your presence.
that's all right. Jane Elliott is also being gone, not going to be gone for a long time either.
Yeah. Though, yeah, that's a what's not working is not understanding what's going on with Bobby
Hmm.
and how they're going to play that. It's not more of a, it's not not a delta per se. It's more of a question mark,
Hmm.
what's going to happen. But yeah.
Yeah. Um,
What about you? Yeah.
I like Blaze and Christina.
Mm.
I think that they are kind of flirty and fun. We have not had a queer couple since, I mean, like they don't show uh Yuri and Terry. So, and I don't know, like, so they like there's no queer characters that they show.
Right.
And then before that it was Lucas and Brad. So like having them back or having a queer couple, I think it feels like we were going backwards with not having that. And having the representation is nice, and they are very cute. I like Blaze. I'm starting to like her. I think um her what I like about couples when they put them together is not when, because that's what it's gonna be a little bit longer to get on board with Jex. I felt like they had chemistry. I like them, but um they didn't give Dex really anything. We don't know much about him. And so I think, yeah, and I'm sure that we will, and that's like he's there for Sunny and all of that. But I like that Blaze is getting something to do. She comes in with a story. It's not just about Christina, and she gives Christina something light and fun to do. That arguing with Molly was kind of annoying. Um, like seeing her be funny with her family, like making Alexis wait, crack me up. Because it's like just this, like, look at Christina, this screwball. And then when she's with Blaze, it's like, oh, she has it together. She's offering out really good advice. She is like holding her own and she's being confident in it. And I think that's important for that character. So yeah, I am on board with what are they, Craze? I don't know, but I'm on board with Christina and Blaze. I think they're really cute.
I'm still also hoping that Blaze is an Alcazar.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
Yes. And I liked Blaze. She's pretty. I was thinking, oh, she's so pretty.
Hmm. Yeah,
I was
she is
looking
really
at her.
pretty.
Yeah, I was looking at her. I liked her hairstyle on
Hmm.
Friday. I really did.
She's like, I don't know, like spunky.
Yeah.
I like her, the energy she brings to the
Yes.
screen. I do. And I wasn't necessarily sold when she was just doing kind of like the singing and
Hmm.
all of that. I'm glad she's away from Link. Ugh, that creep. I thought she had like a really good rapport with Chase.
Hmm.
Obviously, like I like Chillin, so I'm not interested in that, and I am interested in her as like a love interest for Christina. But I just think that there hasn't been anybody that we've seen that she doesn't have a good rapport with when she meets them on screen. So I'm into it.
Yay.
What's not working?
Oh, okay. So while we were giving kudos to Blaze, what wasn't working for me was Alexis. I cannot. I cannot. I was like, well, first I thought it was interesting that Blaze would run into Alexis, and then Alexis would be like, okay, well, join me. I'm like, that's awkward. You don't know this lady. And then I'm just maybe, and I'm really owning up to the fact that I do not like Nancy Lee Grahn, and so therefore I do not like Alexis right now. And so I'm owning it
Yeah.
that what I'm saying right now is probably just me hating Alexis. But I did not like Alexis asking her questions about her trauma, making her revisit her trauma. I just felt
It
like
was
it was
weird.
so unnecessary. And I was like, I would have been like, no, I'm not talking to you about this. But, whatever. And then it turning into a story for Alexis, or Alexis said you could do a lawsuit, and I was just like, that is so intrusive on someone you barely know, you just met, and you're trying to turn her trauma into a lawsuit and a story for yourself. I hated it, but I'm glad for her that she has a story and that she's part of the canvas and that she's doing well with everybody. But I hated Alexis's part in it because I don't like Alexis. So
Well, it was big Alexis energy, to be quite
big.
honest.
Yes. I did
uh,
not like that. We can go back and forth because I do have a list.
oh, okay. Um, I Curtis, useless. Get him out of the wheelchair. I'm tired of it. This is not a good story. I don't care.
Mhm.
Him in the like inspiration porn from this like other disabled man to be like, I'm gonna be better because you have it worse than me. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I'm not interested. I'm not. And I actually, most of the things I don't like, I do have something positive to say. So I'll balance this out by saying, I have not traditionally been on board with this version of Drew and Curtis's friendship, but I enjoyed their scene. I thought it was good exposition. I liked them talking about sports. I liked it being like one of the first times that we've seen Curtis not necessarily feel sorry for himself. It was like giving us kind of like a slice of life everyday thing. Like, we're gonna have a beer, like Portia's gonna come, I'm gonna have wine. It was kind of funny. Like, they just seemed like they had settled in to like a good back and forth, because I think that Billy Miller, RIP, had such a good like friend chemistry with Donnell that Cameron Matheson just hasn't tapped into. But I do feel like the scene that we recently saw this week was the most that I've bought them as friends. So I don't know if they've just like, whatever. But they've, for me, kind of gone over that hump of being believable. Yeah, I thought it was just like a very nice, cool filler scene of showing like friends being together.
Yeah, I generally don't, the character of Curtis, I generally don't appreciate him most of the time. But I do like him now having a better attitude. Whether better attitude towards Portia and a great attitude with Drew being back. I like that. I like him being a good dad or a listener to Trina. I just don't like it when he gets on his high horse and is judgmental and overly critical of other people what he felt has done him wrong. I don't like that. And I also don't like him always treating white women better than black women. But,
That part.
that's the character. That's the character. I don't know Donnell, but congratulations on him recently graduating.
Oh
Yay.
yeah.
But the character of Curtis I can do without most of the time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree with you. I think they need to move on the whole, like I'm gonna be a better person because I'm in this wheelchair thing. So
Not
yeah,
interested.
not interested. Um, so my next thing, why did Cody have to be in the photo shoot? Sasha is a model and a beautiful, beautiful model. She doesn't need to have these tricks to get the photo shoot to look more interesting. She's interesting in of herself. She does not need a llama. She does not, definitely doesn't need Cody looking at her, and he's not looking at her adoringly so much as he's looking at her like he's weird. I don't like it. I was like, let her be in this photo shoot by herself. I did not like it. I didn't appreciate it. Even though the photographer was funny and weird, I didn't like that, you know, Sasha had to share the spotlight with a llama and Cody. Worst ever. No, bad idea. No.
I
And
did
I
love
hope,
seeing her smile.
yes, I love her being radiant and beautiful and just modeling. Why did she need a llama? And if that was Maxie's idea, it was a horrible idea. I don't think it was Maxie's idea. So I'm like, it's horrible. So yeah.
I think it was her idea to have some kind of animal, because then like the original animal like pulled out or something. She said it had like laryngitis or something, like a goat. I forget.
The
And
goat
then
had laryngitis.
Cody was bringing the llama. Um, I'm not quite on board yet with Sodi. Um,
Good.
I don't hate it as much as I used to. It definitely is like overly manipulative, but I'm just so happy that Sasha is not suffering. Like, her having a photo shoot that was good, that nobody tried to like, the guy tried to take her off her square at the beginning, but then after that, she killed it. She has suffered so much. I was like, let it be. Let my girl just be beautiful, take some pictures. I would also love to do like a little trio situation of like her doing some pictures
Mm-hmm.
with Jordan, and with Blaze. I think that like the three of them in like a little deception ad campaign could be cute. I just
Mm-hmm.
want deception to be a little bit more than what it is.
Yeah. You got next, or I got next? I
Oh,
got another one.
I got more too. Go ahead.
All right. Well, no, I just went, so it's your turn.
Oh, this is what happens when we record it. I'm like, what? Did you? Um, Spencer, what the hell did I watch? So let me again, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be more positive. Maybe because I've been watching so much Terrell, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me start with saying things I that I liked about the situation. Trina stepped into her own. I loved her stepping up for herself. This was like right in Tabiana's wheelhouse. Like she was right in the pocket with it. Um, like I said, I cracked up when she did that finally. Like, because she was just speaking for the entire audience. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was just like, I am tired of this. You're not Ace's father. Um, I like the idea, like there's not that many of them of like that young adult
Mm-hmm.
crew. So I liked that the four of them were gonna hang out despite Dex and Spencer traditionally not getting along. I love that Dex was a Marvel nerd. um I I hated that Laura allowed Spencer to live in this delusion because part of the reason he was so turned up is because he was on this like, she's taking him away from me. I'm losing him, whatever. And he has to snap out of that because the way he talked to Trina was unacceptable. It was so embarrassing. It was so rude. And this like, well, if you want me to choose between my brother and you're not gonna like the answer. She didn't ask you that though. So why were you in a rush to tell her that? Or this like idea that Esme, like you can't just like work out some kind of visitation with Esme. This girl has done so much to Trina. Trina is the reason for our freedom. The idea that Esme would tell Laura, I really like Trina. Girl, get out of my face. Um, I just the story is stale, and I think those characters and fans deserve better than what they're getting. Um, Esme has been smack dab in the middle of Sprina's story from the beginning. Why? Why? And this I like we've already talked about like Trina deserving like love and like all of this. And so to have like the person who's supposed to be the person who's like giving her this love essentially be like, I'm picking this baby over you. I wasn't with it. I didn't like it. As a the lightest way I can say it. I didn't like it. I don't know. How did you feel about that? How did you feel about the moment, the build up?
My first thought was like, Nicholas Chavez is acting again, but he's
Oh,
not. But he's not acting. The character is not behaving the way that I like.
mhm.
I mean, it was like he was giving one of those powerful performances, but I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't like who it was directed to. But I would say I think they're in defense of Spencer, even though he's totally 100% wrong, and I agree with you on everything you said. I think this is what Laura was kind of laying the groundwork for, and having um Sunny try to be a mentor to Spencer, because I think what we're seeing is a manifestation of all the trauma that he's experiencing from one, dad disappearing, two, finding out that dad is staying away on purpose again, and feeling weight of the responsibility of needing to step up and all of this stuff. I'm seeing it all play out, and unfortunately it's having a very negative effect on the relationship he has with Trina, and that is horrible and that's sad. And yes, I agree. I'm glad that Trina stood up for herself and was like, I'm out. I'm not even going to keep myself in this equation.
Mhm.
And so I was glad of that. I was very shocked at the way he yelled at her in the hallway. I was like, bruh, like
When
really?
the, when the scene was happening, I was like, who he talking to?
Right. I was like one of those. I was expecting, yeah, and then I was expecting Trina to come back and be like, "Who are you talking to? Like, who are you yelling at me? Like, that's not acceptable." And so, yeah, I agree. With everything, I did not like how Sprina ended up this week, but there were some good, powerful scenes that both Spencer and Tabiana acted their asses off on. So again, powerful
Yeah.
actors in GH,
The other
but I
thing I
don't like
was
the storyline.
no, no, I certainly do not like the storyline.
Mhm.
Um, I just, for me, I do really feel frustrated that they keep leaning back on Esme.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that there's just like a misunderstanding from the writers about when something works, when something doesn't work, and why it doesn't work. I think that not having Esme pay consequences, like I'm never gonna like Esme, right? Like that's just never gonna be the thing for me. She's never gonna be it for me. But having her essentially be like, I'm different, and then having Laura constantly prop her is such a mistake for anybody ever liking the character. I think that there are people who do like her. I've seen some of the conversation, um, but it's not rooted in reality to me. To me, it's not rooted in reality.
Mm.
Excuse me, I have like a cough. But yeah, to me, it's like rooted in this like, well, she's a mom and she's this, and it's just a soap. And it is. And the part of soaps that happen is that somebody does something and then they face a consequence and then you move on. But it
Right.
can't just be that it happened and then that's it.
Hmm.
So like her victim, one of her victims is like the main cheerleader for her not to go to jail. And then now we have to see her like have this softer side where now she's like, well, I like her, so I don't really want to mess up her relationship. What? It just that was like really frustrating. I also saw this a little bit of a conversation, not too much of it, but a little bit of a conversation about people who were like mad that Jex was like present for the Sprina fight. And I do think that part of it is there because of their height difference, there could be something that's almost triggering about seeing the two of them fight. Like Tabiana holds her own. She is
Right.
no, like she is a powerhouse. Like she's not about to like let anybody like run over her as Trina. And I think Nicholas, he has this frustration, he has this anger that would not have been appropriate if it was just the two of them. If they were like standing with each other, standing next to each other, he was towering over her. So having this other couple there as a buffer actually allowed the two of them to give better performances because they could lean into anger, frustration, all of that, in a way that they could not have if that was a one-on-one scene. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I have no opinion of Jex being there. I thought it was actually it kind of added to it because, like you said, they had that Joss and Trina had that moment of looking back at Dex like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So that was great. Um, but I also want to go back to Esme in the scenes that she had with Laura. That was one of my hot takes where Laura was like, "I can't help but love you." I was like, "Yeah, you can. You can help it because." Just because she's a good mom doesn't mean that you love her. But then I was also thinking at it from Laura's point of view. Esme, I mean, Esme did all these things to these other people. She didn't really have like Laura didn't really have a beef with Esme. She sees her as a girl that's caught up in the machinations of Nicholas, not Nicholas, yeah, Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor and her parents. So from Laura's point of view, she's just even if she was the same Esme, she's still the result of all of these adults playing an adverse um, role in her life. But still, I was just like affronted by the
Mm-hmm.
idea. I was just like, Laura, you shouldn't love her. She's like a horrible person. What are you talking about? And then she's seeing and believing in this Esme who's different than the other Esme too. But
Mm-hmm.
I am not seeing it and I'm not liking it. So if I looked at it from Laura's point of view, I can understand it. I still don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think part of the other problem with it is that it it betrays the fact that Esme is actually dangerous. Because there are things that people do. Like I was like looking at a scene of like Maxie and Lulu from back in the day, like when it was still Julie and like they were fighting and some of the stuff that they got up to. And it was like heightened because it's soap operas, but it wasn't the same level of like Esme would have killed Trina. Esme tried to kill Oz Haggerty. She did like very dangerous things. It wasn't just, and it wasn't also just stuff that she was manipulated to do. Because if you remember back, Ryan was actually mad that she had done the revenge porn and all of that. So it's part of her not facing any consequences and just being able to say, I forgot, is like, okay, but it still happened. And it wasn't like, because it's also like a difference between making like a split second decision and being like, I hate her, I'm gonna do something like really out of pocket to her. These were things that were like planned and sinister. We saw her temper, we saw her like with the whole thing with her hand. So to pretend like those things didn't happen only because she doesn't remember, I think that's always been part of GH's problem, where they take things too far and then they don't know how to wind it back in a way that makes sense or that is satisfying for the audience. Like you can't like you have to release the tension somewhere. I think part of that is also why it was really interesting. I was Steve Burton and Bradford Anderson, so former Jason Spinelli have a podcast, a new one. It's like their third iteration. And they had Laura Wright on. And Steve and Laura were talking about Nixon Falls still years later. And they were like joking about the fact that Sonny even got with Nina. And then they were talking about how when this whole SEC thing comes out, they better be done with her. Like, or that Sonny better be done with her. Um, and then they got to talking about why people didn't get on board with Charlie. And it was like, I'm like, no, what y'all are talking about is actually so misaligned with what I saw of the audience and me as an audience member. Part of the reason, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Jason is involved in many ship/dick wars, right? So people who are Jason people who are liaison people were never gonna just be on board with Charlie first. They also had Sam salty about it. For what? People were mad about that. People were mad because we have been sold for years and years that Jason and Carly are just friends. And because it was so forced, there was no conflict. So everybody loved it. Monica was okay with y'all getting married. Like it just felt so forced. And if they wouldn't have forced it, if they would have had some drama around it, if they would have had more people be like, this is trash, I think there might have been more people who could have gotten on board with it. But when you try to push something on the audience, I think sometimes people were rejected. And that's the same thing with Esme, that they're trying to push off that she all of a sudden is like better because she doesn't remember. And so like it's just like this misunderstanding of why people didn't like something in the first place. I don't know. What do you think about what Laura and Steve thought about Charlie?
mm, I don't have a lot of thought about it because I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over
Yeah,
Steve Burton. So I'm
true,
like, I
true.
hadn't really thought too much about Charlie. I mean, yeah, I agree that a lot of this, the reasons why folks didn't like it are because of the things that you had listed. So yeah,
You're like, I don't
unfortunately,
think about them.
I don't want to think about it. I'm over it. I'm done. But I agree with the Esme part is that, yeah, we as an audience cannot forget all the things that she's done. And so you're trying to force this new entity on us and we haven't even dealt with the old.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not working,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. So
Even if they would have
um,
had her go to therapy, even if
right.
it was like she was like clinically insane or whatever, and then you
Yeah.
saw her actually, and that could have actually been good for Avery instead of playing this Pollyanna.
Hmm.
That's like you see her work through her demons.
Yeah. Exactly. And then like she still in GH world could have found like if she went through therapy and she remember who she was and she's dealing with her demons and she's dealing with all the things, GH probably could have found a way to write it so she wouldn't have to go to jail. They always do that. But until
Yeah.
we have that catharsis,
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna like this new Esme. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna tolerate it for too long,
Right.
much longer.
Exactly.
So there's that. Um, so my final thing, if you don't mind,
Oh, please tell me. I've been talking too much.
um, I thought I didn't like how they made Eddie back into Ned. Now, I do understand and see some things that people were like questioning. Like I saw on the internet's discussion about Eddie going in with the beard and coming out without one. I was like, y'all don't understand symbolism. Because I was like, the
The
symbolism,
seawater.
no, the symbolism is that he went in the water as Eddie, and now he's coming back out as Ned, who's more clean shaven. You
Okay.
know, it's corny as hell, but I saw the symbolism, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing of the siren, like I think we guessed, or at least I guessed, that the siren was obviously going to be Olivia.
You did.
Right. So it all comes, you know, in Eddie's mind, it all comes to fruition. What I don't like though is like the swimming scene. I felt like it was way too long. And I was just like, as long as it seemed to take her to find him, I'm surprised he wasn't dead. And I made a joke to myself. I was like, if it was me having to go in and save someone for drowning, they probably would have died because I'm blind and I cannot see. You can't swim with glasses on. So I'm like, I can't see. I'm not going to be able to find the person. That person would have been dead. That's how long it was because I'm up here making jokes because it took too long. Like it was just like too long, and it kind of felt like anticlimactic.
Mm.
You know how we talked about last week how we like to have these big endings where everything is revealed? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I wanted. The story that I made up of how Nina's secret was going to be revealed. I wanted Eddie to come back because I wanted him to remember and be like, you, and
Mm-hmm.
point at her and everyone sees it. And then he says, I tripped because I came running because I found out that you did this. And then everybody in the room hears about it and everyone gasps. And then Michael chimes in and be like, yeah, I knew it was you too. And, you know, everybody just dumping on Nina in front of a
Mm-hmm.
whole audience. I wanted it to be something big. I wanted all of these stories to come together and have this big, you know, climax. And the fact that Eddie is now, well, you know what? Ned hasn't actually remembered what Nina did yet.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it could still happen. The big scene at somebody's club. Maybe it's Christmas, Thanksgiving. I don't know. Where
Oh
the
my God,
reveal.
that's so far.
Thanksgiving is next week.
Week after. Oh
Week
yeah,
after.
yeah, next week. Yeah, you're right.
So it could happen.
Yeah.
But I know,
Um,
and all in all, I just felt like the Eddie coming back, Ned coming back was a little anticlimactic for me. I'm happy for Lois though.
for Olivia.
Or yeah.
Ah,
I'm happy for Olivia. And yeah, I was
woo!
actually a little surprised that Olivia wasn't more mad. Because Ned was revealing, like, I was there the whole time. I would be like, okay, you were there the whole time, but you were rejecting me. Am I adding stress to your life? And,
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
have been
weird.
like, it was like she was way too forgiving of that.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't know what that was about. I again, there were things I loved. I loved Olivia still being Olivia underwater. Her underwater Bensonhurst acting just really was everything for me personally. Like it's just ridiculous.
Well, maybe I need to rewatch because I was just like, I kind of walked away. I was cleaning my house at the same time I was watching it. So I was just like, okay, let me clean out my bathtub while they're doing this thing.
You
'Cause I
gotta
just
go watch
like,
Lisa Listaro's underwater acting.
okay.
Um, amazing. Um, yeah, I agree with you. I think that they have moved away from doing like big climactic reveals. Um, and that's frustrating. Um, I'm glad he's no longer Eddie Main, so I'll take it. I'm sorry to that. And
Yeah, it's tired of him walking around looking grungy. Yeah,
and
like
nasty.
everything. Yeah, everything that Tracy Quartermain said was true. Like all he
Yeah.
does is sit around and lounge and write a song. He's not doing anything. I was like, yep, you're right. That
Mhm.
would be annoying to carry forever long it was happening.
Yeah, I didn't yeah, anyway. Also not working for me, Elizabeth Weber. Girl, what? I was so annoyed with her being so mad at Anna. So first of all, let me back up and say this. I think this is 0% Anna's fault. So everybody's like, she shot a child. Oh my God, she made a mistake. Sure. That was horrible. And that none of this was her fault. This was all it was 90% Valentine's fault. And then you can like divide the other 10% up between Nina, Laura, and Kevin. Like, no, absolutely not. Just like she said, if I would have known this was happening, if I would have known that this was the person who was stalking me, that I wouldn't have been out here like this. And so Anna, I normally don't care, or I normally don't get too far involved in what people in the audience feel. But anytime I see anybody blaming Anna, I'm like, no, no, this was not Anna's fault. How dare you? She has been terrorized for months. And then Valentine, because he can't raise his damn kid, like didn't tell her. As if Anna wouldn't have protected her. As if Anna wouldn't have been on board of getting her help. So now she thought Anna out here having crazy theories, thinking this is Forsyth or whatever, when really it was like a 15-year-old. So now you got my girl looking stupid because she's been out here outsmarted by a 15-year-old over and over again. It just was not her fault. And this idea when Liz was like, who carries a gun? Girl, what are you talking about? A gun on Halloween. Liz was like, on Halloween? What? On Christmas? Yes. Flag Day? Maybe. But Halloween?
Definitely on Flag Day because America is crazy.
But on Halloween? How dare you? Like, girl, what are you talking about? Not
Like
somebody
in
who got talk about Jake is traumatized. Oh, you talking about Jake? You talking about Jason's son? Jason who used to run around with a gun every day?
Jake, who's had a way more crazy life than anybody is traumatized by a gun. Man, he's been kidnapped by Helena and brainwashed.
Jason used to have a gun more than 24/7. Jason
Right.
used to have a gun 25/8. Okay.
And she was in love with Jason. And she, accepted that life. She acting brand new.
And then to like really be acting with this attitude with Anna. Girl, how dare you? Meanwhile, somebody pulled up a clip of when there was a shooting in the hospital when Franco was on the table. Elizabeth ran straight to Anna because she knew Anna stayed with a gun. So you knew she had that piece then, and that wasn't no problem, I guess, because it wasn't Halloween. But now all of a sudden,
They're giving Elizabeth the whole sanctimonious mom character again that she always excels at, judging everybody else for behaviors that she would love if it was up to her.
mm. And just like that, my 20-year grudge against Elizabeth has reared its ugly head. Because how dare you, girl? How dare you? I just, mm-mm, no.
You ain't liking it.
That's what I got. Do you have anything else that's not working?
No, those are my it. I do have some hot takes.
I have a few.
Hot takes.
Go
Hot
ahead.
takes. Um, the Laura loves Esme. I already did that. Oh, shout out to Chase supporting Star Wars fans.
I
Yes.
have a couple of Chase hot takes. So the first one was I cackled at his Tracy impression.
Yes.
I was like, Chase, what are you doing? I also loved Lois like telling her mama about how cute Chase was on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, you right, Lois. We all think Chase look good. Don't worry.
Agreed. I also liked when Chase was like, well, why don't you just take the company and give it back? I was like, yes, do that.
Yeah. Which
And
was also Lois's
I was
solution.
low as a solution too. But I mean, Brooklyn was like, no, because Tracy wouldn't. I'm like, right now, Tracy's off the canvas. Take the company and give it back to Maxie.
Mm-hmm. I also forgot that Chase had a past with Austin. So like when he went up to Austin and was like, "Well, I just want to come to you because of our past." I was like, it took me a full like the second like watch because the first time he said, I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I just like ignored it, and then I watched again, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that feels like so long ago. I forgot it happened."
Oh yeah, the wheelchair when Chase was in the wheelchair and
Mm-hmm.
Austin manipulated him. Yes, that passed.
I forgot. I literally forgot all about it.
That's it.
Yes.
Um, Shout out to Sunny telling Ava she's too smart. I was like, I agree, Ava. You should have saw through all of that shenanigans and been like, "F you to Mister, Mace and all of that from the beginning." But so that's the only comment I have about that.
All of the faces that Ava made cracked me up. Like when she was talking to him, she was looking at him like she was a kid, like she was like a teenager, and he was like her dad. Like he was like, "Now what he do? Okay, so now what?" Like it's just her just being like, "Well, yeah,
Yeah. All right, Dad.
all right." So what happens when you
Fine.
like somebody, you're like, "Damn, okay, maybe he is trifling."
Right.
Um. Oh, another thing that didn't work for me, but I forgot was my hot take. I wish that the BLQ and Maxi beef went on for longer. Are we just not soaping anymore? Like, what are we doing?
But I guess that, they're trying to find an opportunity for Sasha to try to mend fences. But yeah, I actually like the fact that they were fighting and Maxie going off on her.
And it was deserved.
Yeah,
Like, just like Brooklyn's reasoning for why she like betrayed them
it was
is
really
not
silly.
valid.
Very, very
Stupid.
silly. Like, I didn't want to chase. I'm like, what?
Like, girl,
I
I
mean,
got
the read,
kids.
yeah, the read that Maxie gave her was on point and 100.
Like, girl, I got kids and you playing around with your boyfriend. Like,
Mhm.
it just, it's not even that I dislike Brooklyn. I mean, I am like, I've liked Maxie for way longer, but it's just like, where are the beefs that are like not ridiculous? You know what I mean? Like, where are the things that are just natural? They should naturally be beefing. And it just ended. I didn't like that.
And you said, "Where are the beefs?" It reminds me of this Ajo commercial. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Where is it?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef that's not Nina and Carly? Because it's old. Who cares?
Uh,
You got anything else?
actually, no, because I talked about the other stuff.
I got a couple more.
Mhm.
I love Lois calling Eddie a bum. She was like, you don't have a song, you don't have an album, you don't have a tour, you're just sitting around here, strumming a guitar, half finished. Go do
Mhm.
something with yourself. And
He's
then
like, Sonny was gonna give you gonna pay for your tour, but you only got one song. You don't even got one song. You have no songs, no album, no tour.
you're a bum. And then Eddie was like,
Laser,
damn, I guess I'll go jump into the lake. like,
right?
like, what? It cracked me up.
Mm-hmm.
I also appreciated Joss being like, please don't get my man evicted from his apartment
Right.
because you loud in the hallway. I know you rich, you don't know nothing about this.
No, not everybody need to hear your business.
I laughed. She was like, girl, what are you doing? Or boy, what are you doing?
Right.
Why was Robert asking what are the charges that Anna is gonna face? Robert, you're the DA. You tell us.
Which makes what Jordan said 100% on point because he couldn't even think when it came to Anna. He's supposed to be the DA. So yeah, you need to recuse yourself from all of this because you can't even think right
Just
now.
ridiculous. Ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. Um, I think, ooh, I think I ran through everything.
All right.
Wow, that was quick. Do you have anything else before I preview for next week?
No. Anything else?
Ooh. All right, Monday, Brooklyn and Lois strategize. Nina unleashes her fury. Anna briefs Jordan and Dante. Gregory opens up to Chase. Michael is caught off guard. Tuesday, Ava counsels Trina. Dante interrogates Austin. Carly seeks out Sonny. Spencer makes a plea to Esme.
Mm.
Finn gets bad news. Wednesday, TJ is left reeling. Marshall and Curtis connect. Cyrus issues a warning. Diane vents to Alexis. Maxie makes a surprise announcement. Thursday, Dex cautions Jocelyn. Ava lashes out. Cody comes clean. Molly is blindsided.
Mm.
Anna catches up with Sunny. And Friday, Laura makes an offer. Robert seeks Felicia's help. Jocelyn shares some hard truths with Spencer. Sunny wants answers from Nina. Willow encourages Carly.
Is the reveal gonna happen?
You know what? I don't know for sure. I know that I'm sure that
Oh, I
Sunny's gonna be asking like because I know that Anna is gonna catch up with Sunny the day before. So she's
yeah.
gonna find out about he's gonna find out about Charlotte and
And the
her
footage.
wiping the tape. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be the big reveal.
I don't think it's the big reveal yet.
Okay, that makes sense.
I also read because like soap opera digest we don't get like the weeklies anymore, but they do have like online. So
Mm-hmm.
I read like some spoiler from there that was like Ned does remember the Nina thing, but that
Mm.
Michael and Drew do something to piss him off. And so I don't know. It's
Oh,
like a very slow rolling reveal, and that's as we said,
so Ned isn't.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, and Ned is not going to change apparently, because if he's going to hold it back just because Michael and Drew piss him off, then the whole Eddie thing just should not have happened.
Yeah, I guess Wally Kurth had even said like they're basically letting Ed be more Quartermain.
Okay.
So yeah.
Mm. All right.
Well,
Well,
we
ooh,
shall see. We're gonna talk
yeah.
about it.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Make sure again to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, leave us messages. We read them, and we will see you next week.
Next week.
Bye.